Today we're going to look at the controversial Nora Springs Pole Barn Theater in an exotic dance club in Nora Springs. It is located in northern Iowa and has been a source of controversy for the past few months. So first we're going to take a look at the business part of it, and then some group protests, some individual protests, and then the views of Dale Peterson, the owner, and some of his employees, and what the city of Nora Springs plans to do about the bar. First, let's talk about the business aspect. We're going to take a look at some of the things that's going on in the dance club. The Nora Springs Pole Barn Theater is an exotic dance club located on Hawkeye Avenue in Nora Springs, in the building that was previously used for the Frosty Mug Bar. The dance club opened on February 26, 2016, and its hours are from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. from Thursdays to Saturdays. The establishment for adults features exotic dancers. Since the theater has no liquor license, it is considered a juice bar, and it allows the patrons to bring their own alcoholic drinks, but not the hard alcoholic drinks, which they are allowed to do under the state law. The establishment has been a source of controversy since it opened and even before it opened. Let's take a look at some of the group issues with it. Protesters of the Pole Barn Theater are picketing outside the club with signs to protest. Some of their signs say women are not for sale and real men don't exploit women. The protesters see this place as a stripper place, but the owner, Dale Peterson, says he considers the place geared not towards adults, but as a theater for performing arts. The protesters think that the Pole Barn Theater should not be on Main Street in Nora Springs because of its controversy. These are some group issues with the club. Now we're going to take a look at some individual issues with the club. So here are some people who have individual issues with the club. Colleen Bralier from Nora Springs has voiced her protest about the club, that she doesn't believe the theater should be on Main Street at all. Bralier believes these kinds of clubs are associated with human trafficking. Don Cook of Nora Springs voiced his opinion as well, that the bar shouldn't even be in Nora Springs at all. Carol Alba, visiting from Rudd, agrees with Cook that the strip clubs shouldn't even be in Nora Springs at all. Michelle Lindgren, owner of the neighboring business to the theater called Photography by Michelle, says she won't be able to have her businesses open on Thursdays and Fridays because of the noise coming from the bar. Some mornings, Lindgren has found puke and beer bottles and cans outside her front door of her business. Jackie Foss, an employee at Photography by Michelle, fears for the safety of Michelle and the other young people night near the theater. Now let's take a look inside the theater at the view of owner Dale Peterson and one of his employees. This is Peterson's sixth juice bar that he has opened, and is not the first to be met with public opposition, he says. But he is getting much support for his business, like from one of his employees, Aaron Bureau, a former law enforcement worker for Nora Springs. He is a part-time bouncer for the theater. And according to Bureau, no prostitution or human trafficking is associated with the theater. Bureau says he makes sure everyone is safe at the theater, having escorts to go with the dancers from their cars to make sure they are not harassed by the public. Finally, let's take a look at what the city of Nora Springs has to say about the controversial club. The City Council of Nora Springs has proposed zoning amendments that would prohibit any adult-oriented businesses that are sexually oriented from being within 300 feet of each other, churches, city hall, bus stops, or schools, or daycares. Because Peterson doesn't believe his establishment is adult-oriented, he believes that the law will not affect him or his business. City Administrator Deborah Gall was instructed not to comment on it. She also comments not on the theater because she says she knows not what is truth and what is just rumor surrounding the business. Nora Springs Councilman Brian Hanft believes the theater could bring in some crime to that area. He says, "I respect everyone's constitutional rights, but with these sexually oriented businesses, it's very clear that the science points out that there's a lot of secondary effects," referring back to his thoughts about the theater bringing crime to that area. Today we took a look at the controversial Pole Barn Theater in Nora Springs, Iowa, an exotic dance club theater. The club has been a source of controversy for the past few months, and we took a look at the business aspect of it, at some group protests, at some individual issues with the club, at the view of owner Dale Peterson and one of his workers, and as well as the view of the city of Nora Springs and what the city is saying and doing about the club theater. Whatever your view of the club is, I hope you choose wisely about what you do with and about your opinion of it, if you choose to do anything.